Hi everyone, it's Loretta, and I'm so glad you joined me today. We're going to make a stationery box. I'm so excited about this one. I have had a lot of requests, and this is going to be number 17 in my craft fair series for 2018, where I showed you what I'm making, how much I'm charging for it, and how to do it for yourself. My craft fair, which is my very first one, is going to be the 28th of July of this year. And I will try to remember to leave the information for the actual show event in the description box. As usual, should you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section. Should you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comment section. Of course, as always, send me an email. Alrighty then, folks. This box right here is a very cutesy version. This isn't what we're going to make, but I wanted to show you how it works. So you take off the lid, and then it just kind of opens like this. Acts very much like an explosion box would. So you have some cards and envelopes in the back, some note cards, which are 3x3 in the front, and some tags over here. I also put into mine some of these bows that are on paper clips, and you know, you can put them inside. They can act as a bookmark, they can act as a page keeper, whatever. Okay, and so over here, or I should say down here, are some a little notepad. This is that junior legal pad. I didn't do anything special to it, and it's got a place for a pen, and of course you've already seen the lid. So let's get started. Going to go on and put this top back on. You're going to need a few supplies, so you might as well just go get them. Paper trimmer, long handled or long bladed scissors, foam folder, cardstock of your choice. I happen to have 12x12 on my desk. This is called Limeade, and it's from Doodlebug. We have some red, and these papers are also Doodlebug. This pink is from their Hello collection, and this flower is from the Down on the Farm collection, and this is where we're going to start. So I'm going to show you this same box, but with layers. For one thing, a lot of us don't have a lot of scrapbooking paper, so instead what we have is cardstock, and a lot of stores, including Michael's and Joann's and Hobby Lobby, do have really great sales on their cardstock. So that makes it a little bit easier. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a 12x12 piece of cardstock. The measurements for this project and written instructions will be available on my website, lorettaroger.com. I will put a link to the direct instructions down below in the description box. So if you need that, look it up. Okay, paper trimmer away. Here we go. We are going to take this piece of paper and we're going to score it at 5 inches and 7 inches. I'm just using my paper trimmer because I have it out. So that's 7. Get a nice score. Don't push so hard that you rip your paper, but you can see the score. And it's just kind of habit to start with a bigger number and then go to the smaller one for me. So now I'm going to score it at the 5, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to score it at 3 inches and 9 inches. Once again, I just happen to like to start with a larger one. So that is the 9. And come back down to the 3. I like to make sure that my paper is nice and straight as possible. Okay, so there they are. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and score, reinforce the score lines on this piece of paper. This is also a very good time to make sure that you also have one other supply out, which is really strong tape and some glue. So what I'm going to do is this side and this side. Get that up a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to cut from the score mark here to the center score mark right there. You need to get this as straight as you can, but if you don't, it's not really going to matter. Okay, I'm going to do this on this side as well. We're going to fold those into the middle. Now this is also the time to decide which side of the paper you want to face out and which one you want to face in. Now this has a texture to it. And since this has a texture to it, I actually want it on the inside of the box because I'm going to cover the outside. Hope that makes sense. So I'm using score tape. You can use whatever you have. I'm going to fold this in on itself. Get it nice and straight. I'm going to go ahead and reinforce these lines right here. Now, since this is cardstock, scrapbooking paper, it's not as heavy as a cardstock you're going to use for a regular greeting card. This little metal piece measures 2 inches by 6, I think. Let's just double check that measurement. It does. So what I'm going to do is I want this bottom to be really nice and strong. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock a little bit bigger than 1 7/8 by 5 7/8. So it just has a tiny itsy bitsy little hair of a line. And it's going to go right here. Now, I'm using this red because I think it would look really pretty with the papers I've got going on. But you can use the same cardstock. I just want to make sure that this bottom, like I said, is going to be strong. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I'm going to be selling these boxes at my craft fair for the price of $14 a piece. They do require quite a bit of work. Okay, so now on this side, I'm going to cut off 1 3/4 from each side of this. I like to go on and just kind of fold the bottoms and stuff, just to kind of get them out of my way. And line that up. And take it off. Turn it. Line it up and cut it off. So now, this is the top of the box, this is the bottom And on the bottom, we're going to score this piece right here at 1 inch from either side, or 1 inch and 11 inches, whichever way you want to look at it, but it's easier just to do 1 inch. And turn it and do 1 inch this way. So we're going to take these two flaps just like that. So this is our base of our box. So when this is closed, it's going to look like this. Easy enough so far, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and make the top for our box before we go any further, because I want to be sure that the bottom is going to fit into my top and fit correctly. Okay, this piece of paper is going to measure 6 1/8 by 10 1/8. We're going to score all 4 sides at 2 inches. So this piece looks like this. We're going to fold the score lines and go on and reinforce them. Okay? So now, in order to create the box lid, from this point here to this point there, we're going to cut this at an angle on all 4 sides, just like this. Now we're going to cut it from this side to the score line. Same thing with the other 3 sides. So far, so good. Now we're going to take our tape, and they're going to go on this side of the flap. On all 4. You can use more tape like this, of this kind if you want. You can use glue at this point. I hate to say whatever floats your boat, but whatever you like, do it. It's your project. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this side up first. Line it up. And just push it into place with my fingers. Remember, we're going to be decorating this later, but for now we just need to get down. So I'm going to go back with my bone folder on all 4 corners and brush it in. So far, here's our base box. Here's the lid, and let's just do a quick little dry fit to be sure it's going to all work. And it does, it works perfectly. So our next step will be in part 2. And so I hope you're going to stay tuned for that. This is the 2018 Craft Fair series. This is number 17, part 1. And so we will be back in part 2 to continue our box.